welcome to the Sweaty and the Farmer and the Game Design, where we pay 3 galaxies worth of energy just to get that interdimensional caviar. Best high of the galaxy, my friend. Best high. This is episode number 71, Money in a Pocket. I am the London Game Man's the Sweaty.
And I'm Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us on this episode. This week we buy in experimental monetization and other demons.
My God, are we going to hell?
Yes, we are.
Alright, so before we begin, what do we have in the deep dive? We have the Warframe Devstream number 153. We have an interview with Masayoshi Soken, the FF14 composer. And finally, we have monetization on subscription-based game and Blizzard stuff and things and shenanigans that been happening.
All the Blizzard shenanigans.
My God. Alright, but before all that, the discussion here is based on our opinions and our own in-game experience. Everything we say here can be wrong or right, or we can be Nostradamus and tell you the future. Everything is possible. So if you don't like something that we say or you have your own opinion, you can leave it down here in the comments if you're watching us on YouTube, or you can send us an email, or you can write us in any of our social media accounts. And on top of that, now that we are all here together hearing all this information about social media, don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell, leave us a like, leave us a star, leave us a follow, whatever the interaction thing is in your device of preference where you hear us every week. And that's the best way that you can give support for this show. We don't ask anything else from you besides clicking buttons on your phone, which is super easy, barely an inconvenience. And that will make us very happy and keep us going in the darkest nights when we doubt our life. Oh my God. So, my friend, Devstream 153. I heard that it wasn't very chunky.
It wasn't chunky on reveals.
Yeah.
Like, it's not newsworthy.
Yeah.
But it was very chunky. Very, how do I say this? Very chunky on looking at the inside of Steve's and Scott's head. Sure, both the game designer and the basically creative director of Warframe.
Yeah.
So basically, the live stream was, for the most part, just answering community questions.
Yeah,
after
like a big
the
chunk.
release of after the release of the Railjack rework, the big Railjack rework that we tried and we actually enjoyed quite a lot.
Yeah, it was super cool. We like it. We like it. Very Warframe.
Yeah, it was very Warframe like, and that's exactly what caught my attention from this stream. Like one of the things. Remember last time when we talked about the Warframe, the Railjack rework?
Yeah.
One of the things that we're saying is that Warframe is very just try things out and then just rein them in.
Yes,
just
correct.
Put it out there, and then they will figure it out.
Yeah.
And it got my attention that basically amongst all the questions that Steve was answering, he ended up saying that in his head, Warframe is just an experiment. It's like an experimental game.
It's like still an experimental game after all these years.
No, I mean it is. It's not about still. It's just. It is an experimental game. That doesn't mean that it's not a complete game. It just means that. And he said that. He said that. Yeah, what we do is that we just
try things,
experiment things, and do crazy stuff, and eventually with time, they said exactly what we were saying.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
And it was very interesting to see Steve like during the stream trying to put it into words and how to explain that a big process of the design of Warframe is just try things out, and they will eventually get polished to a place where
it makes sense inside the actual game.
It makes sense inside the actual game. But it was very, very interesting. And
like I like that because it just grows into the richness of the game, man. It's like it's a game that is ever changing and interesting, even if it keeps. And you can see the evolution while you're going through the story and that sort of stuff. Like, oh yeah, from like instantiating missions to open worlds to this system to this other system. I guess like assimilated into the thing Warframe that gives them a very unique richness in the game, like in terms of progress and what you can do and cannot do inside the game and that sort of stuff.
Yes, exactly. And it's not only that, but I feel like that helps to keep the work fresh for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're trying to rework the same game all the time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because that gets creatively crushing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I
yeah, go ahead.
And no, I was just saying that I like you feel it in the game. Like you feel that there are real creative juices flowing through the people making the game. Like
yes.
It's not your. I don't know how to. Like you really feel like it's not the cookie cutter, like the cookie cutter, like just makes FIFA installments with no soul. You know what I mean?
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That is like real people taking risks and saying, F it. If it fails, it fails. But we're doing it anyway.
Yeah. See what happens, what we can get from it.
Yeah.
Or not. All right. What I will really like it's a good thing, but it's kind of a bad thing because sometimes at points Warframe looks like a schizophrenic game. It's like, what are you doing here? And then you do something else. What?
It is. It definitely is, and I think that's not what hurts the game the most. I think what hurts it the most is that. You really get to see, like when you're getting, like for example, we're getting to a game when we were experiencing all content, it was already polished.
Yeah.
So it was in a good state, like very enjoyable.
Very flowy. Yeah, correct.
But when you get to a newer stuff, you start opening the hood.
Yeah, you start seeing the rough edges and the bugs.
Not only rough edges, but like all the cracks in the system.
Correct.
And you see how they are pushing what they're doing as far as they can, and it really does great.
Yeah.
and that's you're either in on that ride or just as we are, like as I am. At this point, I'm in for the ride, whatever they do.
Yeah, we always go back.
They can do no wrong, but whatever they do, I'll just give it an honest try and see what happens.
Yes. Because like as in with Rayjack, which is the most recent experiment that they're doing, it's like the first time that we tried, it was like, yeah, interesting concept and like ship and the novelty of the going into the ship with missions and blah blah blah. But it had clear flaws.
Like it was very rough.
The layout of the ship was weird. Shooting the actual turrets inside the ship was like super jarring and annoying and blah blah blah, and then disembarking and that sort of stuff, like it didn't flow quite right.
The progression on itself was very, very rough, which is one of the things that you should, as we have mentioned before, like progression is very important for these type of games.
Correct.
And even in, like when Rayjack released, you could see the rough edges on the progression.
Absolutely.
Like very, very, not only grindy, but like separate and kind of disjointed, a little bit all over the place,
Yeah.
kind of hold together with like
With duct tape and
tape.
Yeah.
and bad wishes.
Yeah.
And then you get to see that when you are in for the ride.
Yes, correct.
And it takes months. It's been months.
It's been months. Correct. Yeah, it's been months. And now we have this iteration, and it's like, oh yeah, it's getting there. It's like now it flows better. Now the missions have more sense. Now the progression is a lot more clearer. Now you have a familiar system in the mod system. Everything makes sense now.
Everything is just starting to make sense. It's still not there because you still feels kind of disjointed. Like there are still rough edges for Railjack.
The only thing that I really wish for Warframe is that they had a legacy integration team. It's the only thing that I wish for Warframe. They have a team that is just dedicated to taking all this new and fantastic stuff that they're doing and kind of revamping it through the old content of the game. Right? So as we were talking about the open world, which is much more reasonable in the new things, if they can bring those systems in the old ones, if they can for example, integrate some of the node progression in the world planetary with a little bit of taste of Railjack or something like that. If they can integrate the open world in more of a better flow inside the progression system in things, that sort of stuff. That's the only thing that I wish for Warframe.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And they won't. Okay. They don't have enough people for that.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's a wish for me that they have that team. they had the money and the infrastructure to do that side of the game.
It's not that they don't have the money or the infrastructure. They're just a small team. And I feel like they prefer to keep it that way.
Like, as a thing of philosophy, they don't want to expand to that point.
Like, not to that extreme.
Not to that extreme where they have that other team doing the thing. I don't know. I will, if I was the head of Warframe, I probably will do that, right? I will probably keep these guys in the state that they're in, and then I have a legacy team which is integrated things across the rest of the content of the game. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my wish for Warframe. And in that point, it will be a perfect game, but nothing's perfect.
No, but it is. I remember months ago. I think Paulo was in one of his own personal stream.
Yeah.
And he was talking about people were asking him about why are his reworks so popular, or what is his secret sauce?
Yeah, the Pablo secret sauce. My God.
Basically, his answer was that he always gets to that he always has a chance to work new stuff, and that keeps his perspective on the game fresh.
Yeah.
And it's I feel like having a completely separate team that is doing just legacy stuff.
Yeah.
Will break Paulo is not one of the main guys. He's not one of them. He's just.
He just became popular because the rewards were so
He's popular among the community, but he's not the
main Warframe.
He's just one of the developers.
Yes,
which is one random guy that the community loves, and that's it.
That's
it. But
it's
kind of that shows you they have this philosophy of just letting people experiment with stuff across the team.
Yeah.
And maybe having a completely dedicated legacy team would break that dynamic.
I don't know. Just you can give the head of that team to Pablo, and there you go.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Which I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
And it's just based on basically the many interviews that I have seen of different other members of the team, because some of them are very vocal and have their own streams.
Yeah.
Are very active in the community. Which, like, don't get me wrong, like, I would like for them to retrofit a lot of stuff.
Yes.
But for example, one of the questions that they answer was basically the question was basically Corpus Railjack and Grenier Railjack both do play and feel very different.
Correct. Yes, as we experimented. Yes.
And they do.
Yeah.
And basically, someone asked Scott if he had, like, after seeing both, if he had a preference for any, like, design, because the Grenier, the Corpus one is very start here, do things, and then go to regular mission and do things.
Yeah.
While the Grenier is kind of more like meshed together, a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
I mean, his answer was straightforward. He does not have a preference, and he thinks pays for both styles in the game.
Okay.
For as much as for example, you would imagine that the Grenier game's gameplay is less web.
Yeah.
But he, as the lead designer of the game, believes both have a place in
the actual game. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Which and that speaks tons of like the way that they approach designing the game.
Yeah.
Is that they don't take just, oh, this is popular, we're just gonna fit this everywhere. Is even if this is not popular, still there, because there is a niche of people who enjoy it.
Nah, I know what you mean, man, but I don't know. Warframe is such an interesting. I'm actually very glad to be part of this game and actually understand it. And now I wonder Dex Rhino skin. He looks fantastic.
Yeah. I was also gonna mention something else before I forget. It was at some point basically they were asking Steve. Was it Steve? Was it Scott? If they had any. Let me think for a second. I forgot my words.
Come on.
Ideas are escaping my mind.
My God, don't go away.
I know. I'm getting old. I'm too old for this.
Yes, Scott was saying.
Oh, this. Right. Yeah. So basically with regard, for example, to a Corpus mission.
Yeah.
They are very. You do Railjack, and then there is a transition, and you do Core Warframe.
Yeah.
So someone was asking, or one of the questions was, would it be possible to have, like, let's say you have, out of your 4 people team, 2 of them stay doing Railjack, and 2 of them go out and do
the normal mission. Yeah.
And basically the answer was no, because the engine won't sustain it.
Yeah, of course.
There is, like basically Scott's answer to that was the engine is not, or like their current technology is not powerful enough to sustain that much AI.
No.
And so different AI, because apparently they have different AI for like regular missions,
for ships and
different AI for
ships and
Railjack.
Of course, it makes sense. Yeah.
So
the only solution to that, it was like you have to somehow disconnect the 2 teams and put it in a different instance.
Yeah, but then you run into all these host migration problems.
Yeah, correct. Which is already a problem in Warframe.
Which is already because networking is different.
Yes, correct. Because networking is crazy. That would be the only solution. But yeah, absolutely.
So it was, and that was one of the things that Scott straight up said. With the current missions of Railjack, we're pushing our engine as far as it can go.
Oh my God.
Like that is the limit of the current state of the Warframe engine.
Holy Jesus. All right. So they're actually pushing it as far as they can take it.
He said straight up, it won't sustain that many more AI to make it viable. Like, yes, you could, but you will be spamming 2 enemies on a mission.
Yeah.
And that's not worth. Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
but it defeats the purpose of what Warframe is.
Yeah.
Like, you go out and do an extermination, and you span 5 enemies at a time.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah. Yeah. So of course, because the desire there is doing something like these missions where you go to the ground and do something, and then there's somebody in. But the way that those were doing is like they were in different instances, and they were just sending progress
that's
signals.
They differently, and that's what, for example, the Ranger becomes invulnerable. It's basically they turn off that part.
Yeah, of course, it makes sense.
And they throw you into an instance that it's connected, and you can see all the things outside.
Yeah, but it's still.
But it's an instance with its own like AI launchers and everything.
Yeah. Is the mirrors, is the illusion behind the whole thing, right?
It's an illusion, but it sounds very well. But it also shows. It's very interesting to see Scott saying like, just the engine won't support it right now.
It shows how much do they push their own technologies.
Yeah.
Right. They go far beyond. People like I was actually really surprised when they decide to do their own engine. Like from that point, I was like they're gonna try such different things that they need their own like proprietary tools and that sort of stuff to do what they want to do.
Not only that, but for most live service games, it's easier to keep everything in-house.
Absolutely.
Just from an operational perspective.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have anything to do with the engine not providing the tools. It's just from an operational standpoint.
Correct. Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
But and among the questions, like there was someone asking also the networking stuff, and basically Steve came out and said, "Yeah, we know that the networking is rough, but in the team there are basically 2 or 3 people that manage all the network code in the game."
2 or 3 people, Jesus.
He said that basically most of the load of working on the network code falls into those people.
Holy Christ.
Which speaks to how small the team actually is.
Yeah, generally the networking team in like big games is an entire department which deals with server stuff and like.
This doesn't mean that there are no more people doing it. It's just like the main responsibility falls into a couple of people.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Which it does remind me of, and Steve said, we're hiring, apply to us.
Yeah.
But kind of jokingly, kind of seriously. Yeah. But again, it's like you think of legacy team. This just speaks of how small this team is in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, of course. My God, crazy.
It's very crazy. It's very interesting.
Yeah, because like I was saying, that solution of like, it's just like disconnected from instances, and then you just make one of the other players serve, and then you reconnect it. But doing that in a smooth way in Warframe sounds insane.
in any game.
In any game, doing that kind of disconnection from server network stuff
and host and because also this is Warframe is it's a peer-to-peer game.
Yeah, exactly. And that works in their benefit for a bunch of stuff, for flowing in missions and progression, that sort of stuff. But yeah, if you do that, like that will be the solution. But doing that in a smooth way, a way that doesn't break the game in half is insane. Any game changing the instances like that, it would be crazy.
That's one of the things. That's one of the parts of not only game development, but in general software development that people are not aware how difficult it is. But like developing network code, it's so difficult and hard. And there's so many problems.
Yes, absolutely.
and that's one of those things that is really, really like on the back end of software.
And it's funny because in layman's terms, when you are doing netcode on that stuff, you like to put it in the layman's terms, like, and you basically are working with the streams of data that you don't really know what is in it. You're just making guesses.
not only guesses, but like you cannot control what's really happening on the network.
Exactly.
You're just trying to funnel data.
Yeah.
And like capture
and praying that is
best
correct
you can.
and filling holes and making the error don't fit. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Network coding is just so hard.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It is definitely not for the faint of heart.
Oh my god. All right, what else? Log in. 8-year anniversary. When do I have to log in to get this amazing skin of Rhino?
8 years. Dude, 8 years of Warframe. That's insane.
8 years of Warframe. And this game is still newsworthy. Still
going strong.
playing worthy. Still very cool. Those guys are getting old, man. I see Steve and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I love those guys so much.
Yeah.
I think I really think they're the coolest people.
Yeah, one day we will meet them, Lucho. One day.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
We have to go to a TennoCon and go and meet them.
So awesome. They also announced that they're gonna be launching their next gen PlayStation codes, like version of the game.
So for PlayStation 5?
Yep.
Nice. They're preparing that, yeah.
Yeah, they announced it. I remember. I remember that. Among the announcements, like they announced like they gave a small peek into a next big patch, which is timed
Call of the Tempestary.
Thing of the Tempestary.
Yeah.
Call of the Tempestary. They released a small preview, little video of one of the characters that will meet in the mission.
Yeah.
They took out the 8th anniversary. Just a small. This was all small announcement. It was definitely light on the announcement side, but it was very interesting on the inside.
So when do I have to log in to get this amazing Rhino skin?
I think next month at some point.
Okay.
Basically, they're aiming to release this 8th anniversary stuff and the Call of the Tempestary
At the same time? All right.
On May. I think they said at the same time, but that could not happen. It could happen in different updates, but they are aiming for May.
Nice.
That doesn't mean next week, but fingers crossed next week.
But next week is April, my friend.
That's what I meant. April.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
I got confused.
All right. So probably next month at some point.
Yeah. They also mentioned that. Do you remember Scarlet Spear, the little Railjack event that had like Railjack and other stuff?
Yes.
Scott said that they liked that event a lot, that it was very popular, and that they're thinking of a way of bringing it back, which made me really happy because I enjoyed that event a lot.
That event was super cool. Yeah, that is true.
It was super cool, and he also said that was their first dipping toes into messing around with the network code to connect between moving things.
Yeah. Yeah.
He straight up said, okay, that event has, like, if it were to come back, it needs to be reworked because the code is updated now. Okay.
All right.
Which means that for them to make Railjack work, they did a lot of work under the hood of the game.
Yeah, because of course they put the crew AI stuff and they put the fill up gaps for the matchmaking, and they put the persistent power that you bring with it, and that means that change everything in the netcode probably.
Yeah.
For that systems, for those three systems to actually proper work. My God, man, this game is just the gifts that keeps on giving.
I agree.
Yeah.
There was finally one small thing that they mentioned, or that Steve mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's how the current state of Railjack encourages long play sessions. Because where shines the most is when you get a team together, you get into your Railjack and you like
do stuff.
Chain a lot of missions together.
That's what we're talking about.
Which was what we were doing.
Yeah, and we were talking about this when we were testing the systems. Like, this feels a lot more flowy. Yeah, and we did a bunch of missions in a row.
It definitely that you can sit for hours with like your friends or your Warframe friends and just do it, chain missions and have a fun time. And he basically mentioned that he has been discussing with Scott the balance between that and between the core Warframe, which is very short, very fast-paced, very short mission, very short commitment.
Yes. And
Railjack is not opposite to that, but it's definitely more enjoyable in longer play sessions. And he basically just mentioned that they're thinking about how do you balance those two approaches? What stand do you take in those things where that Warframe lives?
I don't know. I think
very hard.
I think the strength is like that because those experiences are so condensed and well made, you can chain them together easily. I think that's the strength, right? That you can go into a.
It is, and it feels very good when you do it.
Yeah. But the pieces are still like existing. It's what I was telling you. Like, what if you can do this with the old nodes? Just sit down in your, which is similar what you do in your orbiter.
But what you're saying is that Warframe should move into a space where it prefers longer play sessions.
Okay. Yes.
That's what you are implying.
Yeah. Yes. You're probably right. The thing is, like,
but
it is true. It is true that you can have longer play sessions, but you can stop at any point. Like, my point is
you can always anytime, but that's the point is not that you can stop. The point is what the game encourages. And Warframe move away from longer play sessions.
Yes.
A long time ago.
Yes.
And one of the strengths of Warframe as a whole is that you can log in for 1 hour and you can make progress or stuff.
Yeah, the balance of how much do you want to encourage reward long play session against how much do you want to reward.
Not only reward, but like how satisfying it is.
Yeah.
Because it is very satisfying, for example, to go into a capture mission and open a relic there.
Yeah.
It's 2 to 5 minutes. You can crack a bunch of those. 15 minutes, you get like 5 or 6. You feel like you did a lot of progress.
Yes.
It felt good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to commit for hours.
Yeah.
And that's a very valuable approach and experience that you cannot dismiss.
I don't know, man. It's hard because for me,
I know it's hard, but
what I think is like if you can have your cake and eat it. Because like it is I think you're right. It is a thing of balance, or like keeping that small chunk experience still viable, but give you the opportunity of going in longer streak if you want, right?
Yeah.
And the way the way that Railjack does that is just like by naturally flowing in making that connection easier, right?
It does, but it's still it is still pulling the players in different directions.
Yeah, it is a thing about balance. I think that's the thing.
And that was just a comment that Steve made on the side about just that. It was very interesting because it's very true.
Yeah, it is a thing about balance and seeing where do you push people there. But I think if they can, I think they will benefit much more if they can find just the right balance between those two things. It's worth to preserve. It's worth to preserve both. And you can give small chunks.
I completely agree.
Right?
Like I said, not as a veteran player, but like a player who has played for a while and doesn't engage in longer sessions of Warframe anymore.
Yeah.
I do appreciate a lot that I can log in for 1 hour and feel like I did a lot of progress.
Yeah.
And do a lot of different things. Like I run bounties and open relics and then normal missions and sorties and it feels like a lot. It feels like you progress a lot in the game.
Yeah.
But you didn't have much time. That's an experience that a lot of us do appreciate.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when we had the time to sit down and do railways for a couple of hours, it was very fun.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That it is a balance thing. It's like
I agree. It was very fun, but you have to find balance, or you have to find a way to preserve both experiences.
Yeah. Which is tough.
It's very, very hard.
Balance in the force, basically.
Yeah.
My God. Well, yeah. Anything else before we move on, my friend?
I think those were all the big things that I wanted to that I thought were interesting, like from like the design perspective of the game more than.
Yeah, I do not like
they didn't have any big announcements.
I do not like this Mirage Deluxe skin.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. We'll see how it looks in game.
Yeah, I do not like it for what I'm seeing here in the post. They have the stats of the weapons of the usage of weapons in the Railjack, the battle modes thingy.
Yep.
And the downside of the gunnery rank 10, about the auto aim and that sort of stuff. Yeah, interesting. All right, fair enough. Very interesting dev stream.
There were a couple of very, very specific questions about Railjack.
Yeah.
But I thought the more interesting discussion was about
the whole thing, yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Let's do it.
Music in games, and this big composer of Final Fantasy XIV that Lucho brings me today with the main composer of 14 and all the music. The music on the game is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
To begin.
It is. I told you this. Like I think there is one raid in 14 in Shadowbringers that for the first time made me stop and said, "Oh, the music in this encounter is very."
And that's rare for Lucho because Lucho tends to mute out the music of the majority of games.
I tend to mute out the music and just have my own background music.
Yeah.
But there was this theme for one of the raids. It was so catchy. I still have it in my head. I love the theme, and it was composed by him. It was composed by
Mr.
Masashida
Soken. All right.
Matsushida?
Yeah, Masashida. Masayoshi, sorry.
Masayoshi.
Yeah,
it was composed by him.
All right, cool. So they make it a big interview from some of all the music dudes here.
So it's basically an interview that talks about many different aspects of his career and his approach to like composing for video games, especially for 14. I was telling you this before. So basically, one of the things that I thought were very interesting is that he was hired in a Squaresoft to just sound design.
All right, yeah.
Just sounds and things.
Foley work, that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and he mentioned that he did that, I think, for like a decade or so.
Okay.
Just full sound design for some other games in Squaresoft. Now Square Enix. one of the things that he mentions is that sound design experience made him very aware of what it's important to, like, for each, like you compose music for each encounter, for each phase in the game.
Yes.
And the whole design made him very aware of the differences between like the different little spaces that you have, that you interact with in the game.
Because the thing about music composing in games is like they generally take the approach of the movie composer side of the thing when they composing for this moment, this cinematic place in games, right? That's how generally like music composers approach composition in games, where you are composing for this set piece in any given time in the game, right? The difficult part is like different from movies. In games, there is a lot more sounds that comes in these set pieces, like the sound of the battle, the sound that the environment where you are have, everything else, right? So what tends to happen, if you have noticed in a bunch of games, is like they mute all these environmental sounds and they superpose the music to give that cinematic punch into the game, right? You feel the crescendo of the music when you for the first time walk into a dungeon or see a boss. You feel the crescendo of the music to give them that cinematic punch, because that's the way that you approach composition in games generally, right? What we are now seeing more and more is what he talks about. It's like the sound, the control of the sounds in the environments that are natural, and they are the actual natural sound of the game. And I'll give you examples like how does the hunters in Monster Hunter were all the different sounds they do, the clinch of the weapon, the hitting with the monster, the roars, and all that sort of stuff. How do you actually successfully complement that with music without superpowering one on top of another, right?
Yeah.
And that's
without being invasive.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the artistry of sound composing in games, right? Because you will still want your music to make sense and punch with the sounds of the actual game, right? So
you want to present one cohesive experience.
Exactly, and that's
you don't want the sound of the game to take you away from the music, and you don't want the music to take you away from just the game itself.
Exactly. So that's what we see more and more, because at the beginning we have like FOVs and presentation or like scripted events, and you're seeing less and less of that thing when it flows more naturally in the experience of a game, right? When you are delivering a game experience more than a cinematic experience, right? And that gives him like infinite tools to him, because he will comprehend exactly how the sounds inside an environment game are controlled when he wants to deliver his composition and music on top of that, and how you can complement and not be intrusive with those other sounds inside the environment, and not take the person out of the proper interaction game experience, right? That's a difficult thing to do. So very insane hard job.
It is very difficult, and I guess that's why, if not in the greater community, at least in the 14 community, Soken is very well regarded. People do love his tunes,
his compositions,
me included,
including Lucho. So that's the big interesting artistry in that side, like beyond actually composing and making the music make sense inside the environment where you are presenting it. That's why the easier answer is just like give them a cinematic space where you can actually control everything, right? Just a presentation and music.
I mean, both things have their place.
Yeah.
Like it's just different. Like just composing for in-game music and composing for just a cinematic or something like that. They're just different.
Yeah.
But both have their place in-game.
Yeah.
Which...
Yeah, but my opinion is like it's much more powerful when you have those moments of like excellent music composition inside a gameplay aspect with all the other sounds playing in favor of that music integration. When you see those epic moments where you're just like running through a dungeon and in the sounds of the dungeon, and you hit that music while you're still like doing gameplay and that sort of stuff. For me, at least, I like those moments more, that purely cinematic stuff.
Nah. Yeah, for me, both have their place.
All right.
I don't prefer one or the other. Both are important. If you cannot deliver a punch with good music in a cinematic,
what are you doing?
What's the point?
Fair enough. But yeah, so like I'm not surprised that he's so good, because he understands how the other sounds inside the game actually affects what he's doing with the music composition.
He's clearly a very talented composer. Absolutely. And he has had years of experience in the gaming industry by now.
Absolutely. I really like it. I do.
And I really like the 14 music. It's very, very good.
Yeah. And on top of that, see, man, game design in games is so important. It's so
designing games. Important.
Sound design in games is so important.
Yeah, sound design is.
It's like it makes a difference between making a piece of gameplay feel chunky and making not feel that good. Right?
Oh, sound design is central to video games. It's the difference between punchy guns and weapons that feel just like airsoft weapons.
Yeah.
The sound is the difference.
Yeah. And what effect has in the environment, and what effect has in whatever you're hitting, and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
And that for example, one of the we never mentioned it, but that's one of the successes of Destiny 2, for example.
Yes.
The sound design in Destiny 2 is very good.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes the game feel very, even if the weapons are not weighty, like the sound is satisfying.
Yes, correct.
And the interactions with the environment are very satisfying, very responsive.
Yes. So he has like a live band that he plays into in the cons and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So apparently for one of I think he mentioned that for the first fan fest, I think is what it's called in 14 for Final Fantasy. They wanted to have live music.
Yeah.
And he basically said, yeah, I'm gonna take care of that. And he put together a band called the Primals that now plays
his band,
his compositions.
Oh my god.
Which it's very cool. You don't hear or it is not that common, or a lot of composers with video games are not that.
No, they generally do they really do showcases, right? For example, for the Zelda soundtrack, there was a showcase in one of the anniversaries, and
but it's not the
for the
band
God of War.
Yeah,
for the God of War, there was a showcase too, but not as a proper band for the things.
And not headed by the composer.
Yeah, correct. They generally a showcase, and that's it. Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't showcase. It's just the whole package is very interesting that he enjoys.
Actually,
live performing.
proper live performance.
Because a lot of musicians like live performing is not the end all be all for all musicians.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
And especially for a lot of composers.
Correct. Yeah, they just compose and somebody else is interpret in general.
I mean, if you think about it, if you compose a piece or song or something, I would like it to be performed by the best players.
Yeah.
And I'm like I mean, that doesn't mean that they're not good musicians, but they're probably self-aware enough to know that they're not the most talented.
Yeah. In terms of instrumentation and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Which that's I was looking at. Jesus. I think I told you I was recently rewatching a documentary that I enjoyed.
Yes, it's a story. We were talking about this last time. Yeah.
The story of jazz, and there was one of the interviewers at some point says that one of the most beautiful things as a musician is just to see someone who's more talented than you and experience both the enjoyment of the music and the soul-crushing feeling of knowing that you're not that talented.
My God!
And that is so true. Like, it's so true.
Jesus, yes. Like, okay.
It's so relatable. Like,
yeah, just
like I'm not a musician, but I played violin for many years.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that feeling of just experiencing someone who's way more talented than yourself.
Yeah.
And you can just say it, like, it's just that person is way more talented than
it's
me.
just like, yeah.
And it's both soul-crushing and like just inspiring at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I get it. It's like,
I like that feeling has stuck with me all my life. Both despair and pure enjoyment of the music.
Yeah, you have to take it in stride. You're like, oh my God, I want to steal that person, and like.
But it's not jealousy. It's just
no. It's not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not jealousy.
It's admiration.
Yeah.
Of what someone talented can do, and at the same time, just sadness.
Yeah.
That you cannot do it.
It's like, oh my God.
I like my background in music is from classical music, and dude, just with all the talented people playing classical instruments, like all the child prodigies going around, it's just so crushing.
Yeah, my background is more in rock music, but I've seen it. I've seen like young dudes like being so on point and like a lot more better trying to do what I wanted to do.
But there is nothing like a 9-year-old being just way more talented than you will ever be.
That just slaps you in the face.
Yeah, there's nothing more humbling than that.
Yes, absolutely, and that's the thing. Like those experiences just humbles you like deeply. Like seeing
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The point was just that it is very interesting that Token does enjoy the live performing side a lot. It's not that common, surprisingly, amongst many musicians.
Yeah, generally, like when they get to this place, composers are still composers, or like, and they do this job, like just sit down by themselves and compose, and they rarely do actual live presentations, or they enjoy the live presentation kind of type of thing. Yeah,
it's very, very interesting, and which speaks to his talent.
Yeah. Super cool. These guys that interview him, they do a cover of one of their songs, and I laugh a lot at seeing this guy.
Yeah.
The aria of one of the most fights, man. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, super interesting. This side of the industry is so important, and it's funny because you really see like reviewers and that sort of stuff, people like talking about music and sound design in games, but is the is the unsung heroes of a lot of games, right? Is what it feels, what it makes a lot of games feel better.
I mean, it's one of those things that
is
if
better.
It's good, you shouldn't notice it.
Correct. Yes. If it's good, you don't notice it. It just elevates everything around. Yeah. If you do it,
it just makes the whole experience, but it shouldn't take you out of the experience. It's just that's the thing.
Yeah. Correct.
So that's why they're the unsung heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So great composer, Mr. Masayoshi Soke.
He's a great composer.
The music in 14 is fantastic. So my respects.
Yeah. It's very good. If you
it made me cry. Made me cry. So there you go.
It never made me cry, but it made me, like, in the middle of a raid fight, it made me think,
oh my god,
I have to take note of this song because it's so good. I need to find it.
Yeah, there you go. So unsung heroes, we really, really appreciate it. And anything else
salute you.
We move on.
Let's move on. Yep.
All right. And finally, the greed is coming.
Isn't it always?
The greed reared his head with changes in monetization subscription for plays. And it's just greedy, man. It's like it has no other name. It has no excuses. There is no reason why. There's no way that you can
there may be a reason, and if there is a good one, I don't know.
The reason is because money. That's it.
It definitely looks that way.
So what happened is, like, they're changing from 30-day subscription to increments of 60.
No, not the subscription. The game time. Okay, let's make a.
Go ahead.
It's a subtle difference, but it's important for this discussion.
Go ahead.
So WoW is a subscription-based game.
Correct.
Meaning that you need to pay to play the game. Like, you need to pay a monthly fee to play the game.
Yeah.
You can either subscribe to a game, which is you just put your credit card information and you pay monthly.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. The other option is that you can just buy on demand game time.
That's what I do. I generally buy like 3 months of game time.
That's what I do as well usually.
Yeah.
So you can just buy game time, and then you, before this change, you could buy 30, 60, 90, or 120 days, which
Correct.
is basically from 1 to 4 months of gameplay. I know 180 is the other one, which is 6 months.
Yes.
So basically what they did is that they removed the 30-day, 90, and 180
Correct. Options.
So they just left the 60-day game time.
Yeah.
The 2-month option.
Because money? Because money? Yeah, that's the only thing.
No, but if it is just money, why don't you leave the 30-day one?
Because the whole thing is like, the big thing is people buy the 30-game one and they just play for a month and then they come back because life. And they come back and buy the other 30, right? But
I wonder how often that happens.
Well, it happen. I think it happens a lot in like beginning of expansion, especially for people who just want to see the story side of things. Like in a month, you have enough time to see the story of, for example, Shadowlands.
I will argue that not, but okay.
Yeah.
Because if you want it, like if for example for WoW you're interested in this, that means that you want to have one max level character tune per covenant.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because that's the story of Shadowlands.
Yeah. The covenant, the individual covenant story. Yeah.
And even though it won't take you, I will argue that will take you more than.
Not a limit of a month. Yeah, but why? Like, why the change of flexibility just forces you to buy all this game time that you don't know if you're gonna use.
I know it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, so it's just greedy. It's just like, yeah, you have to pay more for like the minimum thing that you can engage with the game. So it makes it more reasonable to buy bulk time, and even if you're not gonna use it. So,
nah, I mean, you can always play devil's advocate and say you can just subscribe and cancel your subscription after a month, which is the trap of all subscriptions.
Yeah,
people just forget.
Absolutely, yes.
But with a subscription, you can just play 1 month.
Yes, but like if you forget to cancel it, then subscription is running
I
there.
I know, and that's the trapping.
Which is the trapping of every single subscription thing ever.
Yeah, that's the success of
right now. Yeah, that's the trap. So there you go. That's what they aiming for.
But
so I'm not gonna be able to buy any more 90 days subscription time. That's what I usually buy.
No, you have to buy 60
which is
games.
Which is sadness.
Yeah, it is sadness.
Because for me, financially speaking, it's much better to buy like the 3 months.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
it's such a weird decision.
It's just why?
And especially on a like full price game, it's I think that's what robs the community in such a weird way. That WoW, like some other MMOs, have these like kind of updated model of being both full price game and subscription.
Correct.
Because I mean, you say you don't pay for the base game, but still you have to buy every 2 years a full expansion, a full $60 expansion.
Correct.
And you still have to pay the subscription. Yeah,
which is like the double dipping thing, right? We're doing here. And like a lot, you're right. Like Destiny went free to play, so if you wanna pay for the
it's
for the content you do. If you don't,
it's a very updated model in the grand scheme of things, but it's not a rare model. It's 14 does it too. It's the same thing. You have to still buy the full expansion and pay the subscription.
But a lot of modern games are moving away from that.
It's a very old model, and it's only present in older games nowadays.
They're going either we free to play base game and then you buy the expansions and the seasons or whatever else you have your skin. Or
Destiny kind of thing.
Or you are full subscription mode and we have a little bit of microtransactions and that's it. Or you have the Guild Wars 2, which is you have the base game for free and then you buy the last expansions and that's it with microtransactions.
You don't have a subscription for that for Guild Wars 2?
Nope. Guild Wars 2 doesn't have a subscription.
Very interesting model,
Yeah, they just free and then you buy they free have microtransaction stores for cosmetic and then you buy the subscriptions. You have to buy the expansions for like $30, something like that.
Very interesting model.
Yeah. They didn't have that model before. They had the subscription model. They have the buy the game and the expansions and get the game forever. That was the
gotcha. I know what you mean.
2 years before, like 2 years ago, they now offering this base game for free.
So they changed the monetization.
Yeah, they changed from you buy the game and you get everything.
Yeah.
Which was the Guild Wars. They did in Guild Wars 1 and they did it in Guild Wars 2. You just buy the game and you got it. Even if it's an MMO, you don't need to pay a subscription. And we have in-game microtransactions.
Yeah.
And now they just offering the base game for free. 2 years ago.
Very interesting.
Yeah. That's the Guild Wars 2 subscription. And the others using normal subscription. Elder Scrolls have subscription monthly, buy small expansions.
How expensive are those?
Yeah, they don't sell you the big expansion. They sell you small expansions.
But how expensive and how often do those come out?
The Elder Scrolls Online small expansions are. Fuck, I forgot.
Google it.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Online. Wait. Elder Scrolls Online monetization. Monetization. There we go. All right. Okay. I will correct about Elder Scrolls. So, Elder Scrolls is you buy the content,
Okay.
yeah, and then you pay subscription for premium services.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just buy the game, and then the premium service is like more storage space, housing, better housing, and that sort of stuff.
Gotcha.
That's what the subscription is for.
I see.
There you go. That's the difference. I know that it was like something between the things.
Yeah.
So they have monthly subscription for premium services. That means bigger storage spaces, bigger coffers. They have some facilities in the selling of stuff, better housing, and that's
probably all the type of quality of life things make sense if you're a dedicated player.
Correct. So you pay monthly for if you play the game a lot, right?
Gotcha,
But if you want to see the story of Elder Scrolls Online, you can just buy the things and the expansion and play it and go through the story, right? Without engaging in the without needing the space for like doing proper like selling and stuff and having multiple characters and that sort of stuff. That's
makes sense.
Of Elder Scrolls.
I see what you mean.
So, just WoW model is like an old one. What else? What those other MMOs keep that model? Like not even video. Like Black Desert Online is like full free to play. And then you. Yeah,
it's. I mean, Black Desert. It's just a free to play game that has microtransactions.
Correct. We do.
It has some very predatory practices.
Absolutely. But that's the model of that MMO in particular, video.
Yeah, but Black Desert is very predatory.
Yeah. So it's just weird, like get with the days. Pick one lane, man. I don't know.
Not that, but like the annoying part is that WoW has microtransactions as well.
Yes, correct.
Because it does sell cosmetics in the shop.
Yes. It sends mounts and that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it sells mounts and pets. And that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just... it is...
Why?
I don't know.
It bad.
Not only why, but it brings the question of... Is this model of subscription plus full game outdated, and should we move away from it?
Yes. Absolutely. I like the model from Elder Scrolls is interesting in the game that the philosophy is like weird because what Elder Scrolls is selling you. Elder Scrolls is similar to 14 where they sell you the story of the game more so than the MMO experience of the game, right?
Yeah, but that's not what WoW is selling.
Yeah. I'm putting some examples here. So in that regard, that model works for ESO, even if it's like a little bit confusing at points, right? Because you can buy stuff for crowns, which is the in-game stuff. You have access to stuff with the premium stuff, and not access to other stuff with the. It's like This is just a mess, right? But in basic terms, it's like you buy the expansions of the game to see the story of the game, trying to disconnect it from the actual MMO aspect. That was what Elder Scrolls Online was trying to sell you.
Okay.
Right? And then if you go in full MMO, well, you just get into the premium and get access to everything, right? Because that's the option. That's the option of ESO. It's like you cannot buy anything of the game and just pay the monthly subscription that will give you access to everything, right? Or you can just buy the expansions and own them and play the story of the expansions without having access to the premium stuff, right?
That sounds too confusing.
Yeah, exactly. Super confusing, right? Because it's weird.
But again, confusing models are not consumer friendly.
Correct.
I don't consider that a good example in my book.
So it's just an example that the weird monetization is so, and you get crowns with your premium expansion, with your premium paying monthly, that you can buy properly the expansions with. So it's weird because if you do the math, if you pay monthly, like I think it was like for a year and a half, you can get all the expansions of the game. Own them. You open the modern model. So it's just a weird model. All right, and we have 14 model, which is the same.
14 model is the same as well.
Yeah.
Expansion, subscription, and microtransaction.
Correct. Actually, subscription and microtransaction. And we still love 14.
I mean, I do still love WoW.
Yeah, but is it too much for people? I think in this day and age when you have so many options, I think it's too much for to keep all that monetization going.
It is too much.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can argue that for both WoW and 14, you're getting a top quality product.
Yes.
Like there is. I'm gonna say something controversial, but there is no shelf above WoW and 14 in terms of in the market. I mean, those are the top shelf MMOs.
Okay. Yes.
Are the biggest ones?
Yes.
The ones that makes the most money.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
That's your top shelf shit.
Well, you can technically you can count Guild Wars there, and you can count ESO there, and BDO.
Which are significantly smaller games in terms of audience.
What?
Which are significantly smaller games in terms of audience.
In terms of quality.
Audience.
In terms of audience. Okay. Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes, okay. No argument there. No argument there.
If you think of the biggest, 14 and WoW. And
man, Jesus.
And that's the fight on the internet, 14 versus WoW. Those are the two heavyweights.
Yes, correct.
You don't get bigger or better than those. But
in the same point, they're dinosaurs of the industry. They've been here for 15 years.
Both are old as games.
So, do we need, my question in that sense is are they entitled to do whatever they want with the monetization, and this is very good, very bad? Or do we actually need a revolution in the MMO space where something else comes in and actually with a reasonable monetization system? And
I mean that's a different and loaded question. Do we need something else on the MMO market? For sure.
Yeah.
Because the MMO market has been dominated for the last 15 years by 2 games.
Yeah, but which is ridiculous. No other market has been dominated for 2 games for that long.
Yeah, it's like are there other like excellent MMOs out there?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
But definitely the same 2 heavyweights have been fighting for the last.
Yes. Which is kind of ridiculous.
Like undoubtedly, like just kings of the hill.
Yeah.
And both developers have come out and said, yeah, they are both admire and the biggest competitor for one another.
Yeah.
And they're very aware. So
yeah.
It's in that sense. That's why I was saying that it's those 2 are the top shelf.
Yeah. I think we
are they entitled?
Yes.
That's how they felt, probably.
Yeah,
that's how they get away
to
with
do
the
anything.
monetization that they run.
Yeah.
Because
even if 14
argue,
I insist that 14 is a little bit more sensible than WoW.
No, it's not.
All right, fair enough.
You can pay to get more retained, which is just more bank space. Just pay.
I see.
Buy more.
Yeah.
And not buy once. Like, if you want more bank space, you pay a more expensive subscription.
Okay. Okay, I see where you go. All right. Okay, fair.
You can buy mount and buy the little minion companion pet thingy.
Okay, and we're paying full 60. Oh my god! And then a subscription on top of that. So we just need a high quality MMO with a super reasonable, like 1 lane monetization scheme that can just like make them hurt, right? That's what we need. So they stop doing whatever they want.
But there is no incentive to do it. Like if for whatever reason.
Yes. Let's see that tomorrow. Let's say that tomorrow Asians of Creation comes out, and it's just subscription based, and like it destroys the player base of these 2 games.
It won't, but
like imagine it.
I do imagine it, and it just won't happen. Because
just for
both
brand,
games have rabidly loyal fan base.
So yeah, just for brand loyalty. You're saying that this is not possible just because of brand loyalty.
Oh, like dude, the Final Fantasy 14 fans are just rabid fans. They just love Final Fantasy. And the WoW fans have their social lives in WoW.
That is true. That is absolutely
And that's
true.
also true for a lot of Final Fantasy players.
Yeah, you're right. My God.
So it's not like the attachment that you generate to an MMO.
Yeah.
Is not for the game. It's for the social aspect of it.
You're right. So they're just gonna do whatever they want. That's what you're telling me.
That's what I'm telling you. And let's say that you can produce a game that is comparable to those in terms of both
content and quality.
Content, quality, size, all the things.
Yeah.
Why would you as a developer not want a triple dip as they're doing? If you can ensure that you can produce that game. The game that competes at that level.
Fuck.
Why wouldn't you want a part of that money?
Yeah.
just as a business. Like okay, games are works of art, but at the end of the day, they're a business.
I believe that just with like subscription and microtransactions more than enough to make the money. But
I'm not saying
the thing here,
I'm not saying it's not more than enough.
The thing here is that they not only want to do the money, they want to do all the money.
They are a business at the end of the day. Is like these things are not made by one guy. Addict that it's just cares about the art and stuff. No. These are businesses. These are just people making not only money but a living for themselves.
Yeah,
So-
correct. Man,
It's hard. It's very, very hard.
it's sad. Yeah, it's just sad.
The whole, and it is like the MMO market now feels to me like the type of market where you cannot compete unless you're already a giant, like the big scale markets in the real world.
Yeah.
Like for example, a public service. It's not that you can go down and put your own electric post,
Yeah, I
with your
know.
own network,
Yeah.
because it's too expensive.
But you're talking about infrastructure, yeah? We're talking about brand
Yeah, but
loyalty.
it's the same thing. That it just the size of your company has to be so large to compete that isn't reasonable.
Yeah, we need such a good
And-
game that garners so much good.
Not only good, but like after 15 years,
Yeah,
the
no, yeah, I
size,
know what you
the
mean.
sheer
Yeah,
size of the
God.
game
Yeah, it's a problem.
is so large that producing a competitive product at that same level is gonna drain your developers and your money so much that is not worth competing.
But it's still possible. Like we have videos, we have Elder Scrolls Online, we have Guild Wars. Too.
Okay, and Elder Scrolls Online and Guild Wars are both fairly old games as well.
Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is 7 years old, and Elder
Yep.
Scrolls Online is 5 years old. If I'm not wrong.
Yep. So, and they still,
And video is 6? No.
yeah,
Yes, like 6 years old.
something like that.
Yeah.
But still, like for as good as they are, and they're a very good game,
Yeah.
you don't put them necessarily at the same level of fruit. Wow.
That's horrible. It feels horrible because it feels like this genre is not gonna advance in any reasonable way.
Oh, we need something disruptive.
Yeah,
but-
we
but
need
that's-
something disruptive.
But
Absolutely.
that takes it's the kind of game that comes once every decade or so.
Yeah.
It's not your run of the mill FIFA 21 that is gonna disrupt this industry.
Yeah,
Or
we
this
definitely need
market
something
specifically.
disruptive. And
It's disruptive, but if when something disruptive comes, it's gonna come out of nowhere,
yeah.
and it's one of those games that like that's why the phrase "wow killer," because it is that waiting for that disruptive game that comes once every decade
Yeah.
that completely breaks the
The
industry.
mold. Yeah.
Which was what WoW did when it came out. It just broke fundamentally what
Alright.
MMOs
So
were.
for closing this, I will say like, and just holding you
Just
hostage.
give us back our game time.
Just holding you hostage. All right, and it's bad. It's just bad for the consumer, but at this point, it's bad for the
very
consumer. But at this
yeah.
point, they can do whatever they want. That's the reality.
Sadly, it feels that way.
Yeah,
I hope it is not true, and I hope they feel the pressure from the people.
yeah,
But it feels kind of like that,
yes.
sadly.
Yes, my God. All right. With that sad note, we're gonna move to our audience questions and feedback. Remember, you can write us to any of our social media accounts: Gmail, Twitter. Send us direct messages. Leave the comments in YouTube. You're watching us on YouTube, and we will answer your burning questions here live on this podcast. So the first question of this week is: what's your favorite convention, games or not? Can be a game convention or not.
I haven't attended any convention.
Do you have a favorite convention? That you
I
at
would
least
say
like to
probably-
watch? I don't know.
I'll say probably TennoCon,
Yeah,
because I really want to meet
because you really want
some
to
of
go.
my D heroes.
Are you gonna go like with a bouquet of flowers and tell Steve, "Oh, you're such an amazing man."
Yeah. And I'm gonna fanboy over Paulo reworks
Yes,
like everyone else.
and take pictures with everybody.
Yeah, I would take pictures with everybody. I would get autographs if possible.
You will get autographs, all right? Like big Warframe poster, and autographs everywhere.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea.
That would be very, very cool.
For me, what is my favorite convention? I still want to go to a BlizzCon someday.
BlizzCon would be a big deal. It would be very cool to go.
Yeah, I still want to go to a BlizzCon. And I like Comic-Con. Comic-Con is interesting in terms of news, of entertainment. But favorite that I would like to go to BlizzCon or TennoCon. It will be interesting too, but probably BlizzCon will be.
Yeah, but BlizzCon is just like the big behemoth of conventions.
And if I could travel in time, I'll probably go to an EA, to an E3 in the 90s. All right. And our second question of this week is what are you guys playing right now besides World of Warcraft?
We got finally back into Iceborne.
Finally! That was finally we're gonna go
finally
finish
caught up
Iceborne.
to us.
Yeah, finally.
So
Finally we're gonna finish Iceborne.
We've been enjoying Iceborne a lot. Monster Hunter is such a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been playing that.
Excellent game.
We've been playing that.
Yeah, I've been playing 14 a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
I'm slowly making my way through Shadowbringers.
Nice.
I finally reached a place where I have to farm
gear. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right.
Finally, but it's very, very at the end for me. Just I think I'm done with the main story, and now I'm making my way through the patches of Shadowbringers.
Yes, correct, yeah.
And those are gated behind here. So,
okay, interesting.
So, but I mean, because if you keep up with the game and you do the game,
you will have the
caught
game,
up every little patch.
Yeah.
But I'm catching up because it's the recent content. So
yeah.
So that's been slowly. I haven't had much time to play much than that.
Interesting. All right. For me, I've been playing Iceborne with these guys. It's been super fun. Getting back into Monster Hunter. I love that game.
Such a good game.
Going back to
Monster Hunter.
Sing the songs of my people because I do like hunting.
I love Monster Hunter so much that I thought about buying again. I have talked myself out of buying a Switch.
Oh my god,
to play Rise like 3 times now.
Oh my god. I knew it that you were like, no, the temptation. And apparently it's like an amazing game. Apparently it's like I've seen reviews from it, and apparently it's fantastic. Good. Like it's pretty good. It's a lot more fluid than World and Iceborne is.
Not only that, but now that I'm really into Monster Hunter, I've been thinking, I would also like to play some of the older games. Yeah. And I have heard that Generations Ultimate, it's an amazing game. Yeah. And there is a version for Switch.
Yeah, I know.
So I've been thinking, if I can get a Switch, I could get Rise and Generations Ultimate. Which, even if Rise is just trash, which is not.
Yeah.
Generations Ultimate is definitely an amazing game. It's just a really good game in the franchise.
The Monster Hunter, lol.
So I have talked myself out of spending the $300
to buy the Switch.
I cannot do it.
You're gonna be a
worth it.
50 console player finally.
Not.
No.
But Monster Hunter would be the game.
It would be the game that breaks you.
It's the game. It's that good of a game. It's just that.
That is true. So I've been playing that. We've been playing that. We tested the Warframe thing. We've been playing a little bit of WoW, of course. Yeah, that's beyond the thing. We do that all the time. I've been playing Guild Wars 2.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, with Santi and blah, 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 and it felt super interesting, and I did some classes. It's for free, beautiful game, full voice acted, which I really much appreciate in terms of what I play in MMOs. And what else I've been playing? Yeah, I play a little bit of Hades. I play a little bit of Cuphead when I have the time.
Tell me what you have been playing in the last couple of days. Tell me.
I will save that for last.
We all know.
And then my sister's husband sent me his old PlayStation 4, and I've been playing Persona 5 on that.
It's very nice.
Which is a freaking amazing game. Like, it's fantastic.
I have heard that. Yeah.
And finally, this is my last fan.
Last but not least.
Which is Lucho's fault. I blame Lucho. I spent an entire day of this game, Lucho. I hate you.
I have always tried to get you into this type of game.
And I've been playing Honkai Impact 3rd.
Very good, very good, very fun.
Which I've been deeply enjoying the gameplay and the waifus and the egregious fan service. I was telling yesterday to Lucho, just turn on the game and like doing my daily stuff, and then you have all these icons that you click on, and then I click on one of the items, which is apparently the event that is going right now that has to do with a casino, right?
Yeah.
And these girls in the casino, and they're paying a debt that they spend in the casino. And it's supposed to be a bigger event in next patch. So they kind of teasing it and giving you a small taste of it. Yeah. And then they show me this like animation with all the girls in body costumes. I'm like, oh my god.
Have you logged in today?
No, not today.
Okay. You'll laugh at
all right, fair enough. And I guess like, I feel this is gonna sound really weird. I'm gonna say next, but like I feel really appreciated when a waifu game is not holding anything back. It just gives you fan service trailer. That is what you're here for, man.
I mean, if you're playing a gacha games, like full on for weeps.
Yes,
you are in there for the fan service.
Absolutely, and so I really appreciate it.
That's the main reason.
Yeah,
but it's there.
Yeah. So I've been playing that a lot. Like I spent an entire day just catching up my account, because at the beginning they give you a lot of resource to do a lot of stuff, right? To catch up, to set up, and all those stuff. And like my OCD was like, this bar doesn't go down, and I was always so, oh Max, I'm gonna sit here and just like do everything.
Fair enough.
And like I really like it. I really like that the game actually respects my time, and then I don't have to like break my bank to actually play it in a reasonable manner. And like there is grindable stuff and things in what to spend your stuff, and ways for you to play without spending egregious amount of money in this gacha game.
Like, I'll say something. I think I have played this game since at least 2 years ago. Yeah, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
and it has become more free-to-play friendly.
More and more free-to-play friendly. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It was very unfriendly at launch. Some of the things were very, very predatory, and some of them are still in game, but it has become more.
Like I'm surprised. Like supposedly now the patches are like, one patch has a gacha only character, Valkyrie in this case in this game, and then the next patch is a free to play character. With the event and everything. So that's super interesting practice. That they give you a gacha one, and then they give you a full event with a free to play farmable one.
Yep.
With the gear and everything else. So I've been really happy because this game has let me progress, and the waifus are very cool. And they're absolutely egregious, but I'm like, all right, I appreciate your forwardness. Game.
I finally broke you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then Lucho's like, yes, Yes, because he offers me, like, he's been for years now, offered me, like, oh yeah, like, look, Gears Frontline, look, these waifus, they're kind of cute. I'm like, yeah.
I'm sad that you don't like Girls from Line, but I get it. The gameplay is very neat.
Like I'm a man. I'm a gameplay first man. Like,
that game is very neat.
Yeah, and Honkai Impact gameplay is, I like it a lot more than Genshin Impact. That was the reason why I started playing Genshin Impact first, because it was super popular, but the gameplay was cool, right? But Honkai Impact is much more my cup of tea, like very action-oriented type of gameplay and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I can degenerate. I've been like, one of the waifus, man. This is so cute. They have such a nice dresses and stuff, and like cool personalities. And
cute
oh my god, man. What I've become is Lucho's fault.
Cute stuff sells. That's how the world works. Why do you think Hollywood actresses are beautiful?
My god. Yeah. Okay. I just can't believe it that finally Lucho got me, like, to the point that we agree that one particular waifu from Honkai Impact is the best.
You finally have a good taste.
Yeah. You have corrupted me, my friend. You have corrupted. Take me to the other side.
Yes.
All right. In that note, this is over, my friend.
Well, that's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at @LuisGPolanco.
And I'm the Lone Name Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Lone Name Gamer, and maybe on Twitch. I'm thinking about coming back with the new Diablo 3 season, see how that goes now that things are a little bit more stable in general. My house.
Fair.
So maybe I will go back to streaming. So more news coming to that.
Crossed.
What?
Fingers crossed.
Yes. And yeah, so I will let you know about that. And yeah, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, do everything social. Click all the buttons in your platform when you're hearing us. That's the thing that helps us grow and everything else. Get to more people, share with everybody, tell everybody that this show is fantastic, that we are degenerates. And thanks for coming to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. See you next time.
Bye.
Did you know? A little known fact about caviar is that it shouldn't touch metal like silver. Otherwise, the eggs will take on a metallic taste. Instead, you will need to serve it in a glass bowl, preferably crystal. To remove it from its container, you will need to use a wooden, glass, or gold spoon. Ah, my god, they're just like eggs, man. Just like fish eggs. You can, I don't know, buy sushi with fish eggs in it. There you go. There you go. And the highest quality of beluga caviar is called almas, which means diamond in Russian. It is sold only by London's Caviar House, and it's packed in around 24-karat gold box, costing around 40,000 euros per kilo. Holy Jesus.
Holy bejesus.
Holy bejesus. Why? It's just fish eggs. Right?
People with money. People with more money, what they can spend.
Yeah, apparently, because it's just fish eggs. Like
maybe are delicious.
Well, have you ever had fish eggs? Like I've heard, I think the
I have had caviar before.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's nothing that special to me, but I probably have a cheap taste, so I like McDonald's fries. I don't know what to tell you.
You're right, you like McDonald's fries. Yeah, you're a sinner.
Right, McDonald's fries are amazing.
They're fine. Like, there's better fries out there, Lucho. There's better fries in the world.
McDonald's fries are top shelf French fries in the fast food game.
Can you believe this, dude? McDonald's fried up top shelf fries in the fast food games. Can you believe this?